Hey, how's your girl, man?
She left me.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom died too. And my dad got deported. But I got the van.
It's nice.
Yeah, right?
You'll never get married, you think?
I don't know. I just feel like that's a bad deal.
Yeah, it is a pretty bad deal.
Like, listen, I feel like, if you already got a wife, you got out the game just in time. But
Yeah.
it's a bad deal. Like, like if you took what marriage is and you wrote it out on a piece of paper and you took it to a lawyer, they would be like, don't sign that.
Yeah.
Who's trying to get you to sign this?
Yeah.
It's a scam. It's like,
It's a bad contract.
yeah, I'm like, but again, I understand it. Like, that's not acceptable to most women.
Right.
Of like, I need to be able to destroy you for me to feel loved. You know what I mean?
In the West, there is no longer the case we guys get out just in time, but the spirit of the argument is there. Of course, these dudes are comedians riffing with one another, but as we all know, one of the key ingredients to a good joke is that it harbors some truth about the world we live in. And in the case of marriage, our brother here is on point. Moreover, by making the decision to avoid marriage, he's going to keep his back and dignity too. It's something every guy that chooses to tie the knot only experiences as a distant memory, a dream, only to fade when he wakes up to a woman next to him waiting for the next payday. That, or she's not there, but in a place far away, waiting for the next check to come in to fund the long-awaited ride on the carousel.
Women leave their husbands for the stupidest and dumbest reasons I have ever heard in my life. Very few times have I heard actually legit reasons for divorce. And I thought about the most common reason that I get for leaving the father of your children or their husband. And it is that these women outgrew him. The amount of women that I have met that casually destroyed their entire families because they outgrew their husbands is genuinely depressing. And what you typically get from the modern mothers that are coping and can't accept the fact that they actually made the wrong, most selfish decision that they have ever made in their life. Oh, let me just put my kid at every statistical disadvantage. Oh, let me only see both of my parents half the time in the month. Oh, let me make my kid more likely to run away from home, more likely to drop out of school, and more likely to be abused because of my feelings of outgrowing him. It's so funny. Women are so self-centered that they use every single cope to make their selfish decision not sound like a selfish decision. You know, it's funny. When women win the lottery, they tend to divorce their husbands. When men win the lottery, they tend to stay.
I'm all right.
Women can do it on their own. We don't have to shut the fuck up, bro. If that's what you like, then get what you like, and good luck. I hope you find it.
Name me one.
I like something else, and I hope I find it too. Good luck to both.
Name me one billionaire outside of Oprah that did it on her own.
I don't know. I don't keep up.
There isn't one. Hey, I'll tell you about the richest women in the world. Google that shit. Guess where they got their riches from? Divorce. That means they didn't do it on their own. Success is a team sport, no matter how you think about it. A man needs a woman. Hold on. A man needs a woman just as much as a woman needs a man. That's all a woman can do it by themselves. Shit is what's wrong with the fucking culture today. We need each other equally. See, I can look at you and say, you know what, ma'am? You're going to see things that I don't see in a situation, and that's valuable to me. You know what I say also, ma'am? That you're going to pay attention and you're going to see the world differently than I do. So that's going to be valuable for me. I can say to you, I can look at you and say, your strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa. And that's value to me. How is it so hard for you to see the value in me, though? I understand that you got a Benz. I got a Benz, too. I have value, too. So all I'm saying is, we can see the value in women. But as soon as women start getting some money, it's like they forget who the fuck goddamn put them in position to make it. The last time I checked, most of these businesses that these women are making all this money for were ran and owned by men. OnlyFans, you know who made that? A man. Lip gloss, you know who made that?
Man.
A man. Hair weave, you know who created that? A man. Mercedes-Benz, a man. So how are y'all getting so goddamn high strung on your high horses about niggas ain't shit and you don't need a nigga when everything of your existence was created by a man?
I think in the future, you might just see a pocket version of these boards for men discussing concepts with women. There's really no other way to get a word in with these chicks without blasting sound effects to punctuate each point. Regardless, this is the reason marriage is a losing game. In a world where men endorse a system that benefits women, without any reciprocation, not only do men suffer, everyone does. But here's the crazy thing. Women, according to all of the studies and clips I sift through for our enjoyment, often understand this. They know that the money they rake in after divorce doesn't last forever. They know that the secret bank account will run dry a couple of years after going out to find singles at the club. The fact of the matter is, they just don't care. It's like being at the beach. A little kid might feel like getting creative, working on a sandcastle for hours, meticulously carving out little windows with sticks and making moats and a bridge. And yet, you often see a kid, not raised right, letting the intrusive thoughts win, finding joy in demolishing it with a single stomp. In this case, that is exactly what modern women like to do in an institution, before and after divorce, that ironically only benefits them in the first place. They don't care if the money will run out or if they'll end up poor and alone, as long as they can make it, whoever is foolish enough to wed them, as miserable and isolated as they are. And if one feeds this system, it just continues to get worse. Before we go on with the video, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Keiko Solano, who shared leftovers, more like used bubblegum. Chewed up, spat out, left to dry, gone is the sweetness and only bitterness. Now that is a fire metaphor. Thank you for dropping that comment. So please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always guys, I'll be picking one comment from each video. Could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that stuck out to me. So don't forget to leave a comment and you could be our very next winner tomorrow. So be sure to hit that like and sub button too, as the support helps out the channel so much, y'all. So now let's get right back into the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
You got the family courts where women are initiating 80% of the divorces, 90% of alimony is paid for men to women. Women win almost all the child custody battles, okay? And people might sit there, well, Myron, the men don't fight for the kids. The reason why they don't fight for the kids is because their lawyers tell them not to waste their money and time, because they're gonna lose. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, Myron, the men don't even fight for the kids, that's why the women get the kids automatically. No, a lot of the times when guys retain counsel, the counsel tells them straight up, bro, you're not gonna get them. The only way that you're gonna get custody of your kids in today's day and age is the woman got to be damn near pathetic and homeless.
Krishan Rock.
Yeah.
Level type stuff.
And she still got the kid.
Yeah, which is scary, by the way.
Shut up and listen. I was a whole married man, fully married, happy, never cheated, never lied, never did anything behind your back, never met up in the Sprinter and got my head in a parking lot of a strip club. You ain't got them stories on me. Now, everybody's got problems. Everybody go through shit. I never came at Sam. Over 2 years, never said one thing about that woman and came at her because I legally couldn't. Now, as soon as the trial happened, now I got some shit to say because you accused me of putting you out of the house, changing the locks, and kicking you and a 1-year-old out the house. That's a lie. You put the COVID mask on top of the Ring cameras, and you arranged all the shit that you did, and now you trying to get me for $20,000 a month for a 1-year-old at the time, and I couldn't speak on it. And I'm hurt, and I'm bleeding out loud. I'm divorced, and I know why.
Of course, you know why. We all know why. Stories like this are important to hear because, as much as many men are walking away in droves these days, you still find some successful men out there who bought in before the story was straight on a massive scale. Just this last week, I took a trip with some guys to Puerto Vallarta. It was a fun time, and the food and drinks were free, so none of us were complaining. And everyone needs a break from the feminist brain rot every now and then. That said, even on vacation, with food and drinks at the table, the pattern was still there in front of me. I'd look across the table past my single-free brothers, and I'd see what was going on in the background. Men in suits and ties, men who understand the game too late, sitting across from their large wives, scarfing down a 5th course, while lecturing them for not getting a suite on a higher floor, not opening the door for them, or some other ridiculous crap. These men looked broken, while the women looked ugly and vicious. And what was the commonality? The ring on each of their fingers. I could almost see a small chain linking them together, as these dudes got completely emasculated in different Western languages over and over again. You could see that these guys knew what we all knew. They knew the why. The problem was that they were stuck in a lose-lose situation. Either they stick with shampoo and find something that appreciates them elsewhere, or they break it off and face a legal battle that could harm their career or respective businesses, let alone push them out of the house, unable to see their children. In other words, they took advantage of these men and their natural capacity for loyalty. To the uninitiated, one might think, hey, but he's meeting all the requirements for modern women. He takes care of himself and has plenty of money. What's the problem? Now, for us, we know none of that is ever enough.
So this guy finds a really disturbing text on his wife's computer one day. It was a random dude flirting with her, and his wife was entertaining it too. But nothing could have ever prepared this guy for what he was about to discover. Now this guy was a New York City spine surgeon named Dr. Han-Jo Kim. Dr. Kim made around $3 million a year, so when he got married to Regina Turner 5 years ago, he was perfectly content with her being financially dependent on him. But little did Dr. Kim know, even from the start of their marriage, his wife had been living a secret double life. You see, although Regina had told him while they were dating that she made no money since she was working on a startup, the truth was she was a high-end sex worker. This had all started after Regina won Miss Connecticut back in 2011, which had opened a lot of doors for her in this industry. She began to regularly get paid tens of thousands of dollars from her clients. However, for some reason, when Regina started dating Dr. Kim, she still continued her work behind his back. Even after they got married, she would still secretly continue seeing her clients, making around $700,000 over their 5-year marriage. When Dr. Kim finally found out, he was baffled and completely heartbroken, and he divorced her soon after.
Yep, that's right. What are things you do now that you feel like would make you a good wife?
The basic shit, I cook, clean, all that in between shit. But I like creating new things. I like coming up with new things. Like, I like going on adventures. I'm real spontaneous, so like, I just don't like to be boring. So whatever the fuck is not boring, I'm with that.
Said a lot of nothing there, but that's the point. See, before every marriage, as many of us already know, there are a series of phases, with the last one before the leap being the final sale. I mean, the selling occurs all throughout the horrid dating rituals, but these chicks really cranked it up before the ring was purchased, and that's how so many of these guys I saw on vacation got completely screwed. Every single one of them fell into the trap of the divorced surgeon we just saw. Good looking, wealthy, and tons of ambition, but he failed to recognize one of the major tenets of MGTOW. You can take a chick out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of the chick. This is the reason so many fell before the exposure reached its peak. It's not that these men didn't know they were out there, they just didn't have the data or visual proof younger generations have at their fingertips. And, obviously, if a guy saw a 304 and believed he could change her, that's pretty much on him, but some of these chicks were natural-born salesmen. The group we've made to isolate ourselves, and all of the signs we've learned to pick up on this, didn't enter the mainstream yet. But luckily, for many of us, we do have that data and footage to back up the conspiracy. We've dismantled the 20th and 21st century propaganda. It's all here in black and white.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
That I cheated on him. Right before I broke up with him, I slept with another guy. He doesn't know.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
I f***ed his best friend.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
I had dreams about other people.
What's one secret you didn't tell your ex?
I f***ed his best friend.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
When I was with him at the end, for 1 year, I didn't love him anymore.
What's one secret you didn't tell your ex?
I cheated on him with my current boyfriend, and he didn't know about it for weeks.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
I didn't want him to go on my phone because I was actually cheating. He wanted to go on my phone, so then I started crying because I didn't want him to go on my phone, but I was actually talking to other guys.
I liked his best friend for a while.
I didn't love him. That's probably what it was.
You never told him?
So he was one time, and I was sleeping, but not actually sleeping, and he told me that he loved me. I heard it.
But you pretend you were out.
I pretended I was asleep. He was like, "Do you love me?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm," and I didn't answer him.
But the answer's no.
Yeah, the answer's no.
What's one secret you never told your ex?
One of my exes that wasn't a boyfriend, but an ex thing, he pissed me off, so I hooked up with his best friend.
Jesus Christ.
Happy wife, whoever said that should just be beaten to death. Happy wife, happy life. Like, if I hear one more person give that advice to somebody, I have to tell you, that is just the most ridiculous. What does that even mean? Happy wife, happy life.
If she's happy, then I'm happy.
Is that true?
Their wife is always unhappy. So if she's not shouting at me and I can just sit here and watch the football, all is well.
Boy, is that something to aspire to. Man, I can't wait, for someday for my kids to just sit there while the person in the other room is just mildly dissatisfied with them, and they can just sit and watch, the football game. Really? That's what we're aspiring to? That's what you hope for?
The lawyer here is cutting through aggressively for a particular purpose, in my opinion. Let me explain. See, the guy here, and no hate towards him, some of the interviews are informative, is falling into a trap I've seen a lot of men get caught in. Much like the guys I witnessed in Mexico, a commonly held attitude before the advent of mainstream MGTOW knowledge. Men are resilient, to say the least. I touch on this a lot here on Mankind. They could even take a bullet, only to make a joke out of it a week later. Now, clearly, this can have its benefits. Rolling with the punches allows you to bounce back when times are tough. However, sometimes, as is the case with something like marriage, guys would laugh when they never got back up and stayed down. I remember growing up around some older guys who never saw warning signs because of this, and if they did, this was their way of coping. The wife would absolutely neuter them in front of their friends and family until they complied, only for them to turn to someone next to them with sadness in their eyes, let out a chuckle and say, "Happy wife, happy life." 5 to 10 years later, it wasn't so funny. As soon as the kids left the house, or just as often sooner, they were living in a studio apartment with their tail between their legs. All because they sat around until the next inevitable storm arrived.
You were...
Well, yeah, of course.
And he was married.
Yes.
That's homewrecker behavior.
Technically. That is true.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
They're still together.
Wait a minute, and you signed a lease expecting him to live with you? Yeah, they're still together. Does she know?
Oh, yeah.
Are they open?
No.
Future wife, please don't cheat on me.
So, she found out about me.
Oh, she found out. Okay.
Yes.
She's cheating, all right.
My husband refuses to pay into my pension. Ladies, please help. I'm currently on maternity leave, which of course means I'm not earning my usual income and cannot contribute to my pension as I normally would. After listening to the podcast, I've asked my husband to help by paying into my pension during this period, but he's resistant to the idea. Instead, he insists that when we retire, he will share his pension with me. While I appreciate the offer, I'm worried about the long-term implications. Not contributing to my pension now could significantly impact my financial security in the future. I'm also concerned about the lack of independence it could create as I'd be relying on his pension. I've tried to explain my concerns to him, but he doesn't seem to understand why this is so important to me. It's causing tension between us and I don't want this issue to affect our relationship. How can I approach this situation in a way that helps him see from my perspective and find a solution that works for...
Translation for how this actually sounds. Babe, I need you to give me money for fulfilling my obligations as a mother. But why, honey? You already have my money in the long run. Babe, I need to make sure that your money is my money forever. Why is that? Because in 5 years, I'm going to take it and run with your only child, hopefully Chad hopping along the way. Nobody in their right mind would do this. Nobody should do this. And for the most part, nobody has done this. I've heard a lot of plays in my day, but I've never heard of a pension negotiation for maternity leave. This is next level, man. Good lord. It just goes to show that the game for women and getting the bag might change slightly over time, but the object of the game is still the same. Cash out, bury it, divorce, get more. I mean, come on. Is it any wonder at this point why everyone and their father sees marriage as the largest institutional hustle next to child support? No. No, it isn't. And yet, you hear this shit all of the time. Women will always say that they need insurance just in case the man leaves. But we know the stats. We know most of them by heart. Most men don't. Women, on the other hand, jump ship as soon as the wall hormones go flying, eagerly annihilating families and seeking comfort on TikTok when the deed is done. And that's the essence of the problem.
Feminists don't care about men's issues.
I wouldn't necessarily use that type of a blanket statement because from the feminists that I have personally met, I just don't agree with that, and that's me speaking on personal experience, and it's okay if we don't align on that.
In fact, I would actually go even further to say that where some form of actual equality between men and women could be achieved, or some benefit to men could be actually achieved, feminists will fight against it.
He's right.
Open the safe or I'll take your life.
I don't have a life. I'm married.
Really?
I get in trouble for chewing too loud. I get in trouble if I use the bathroom too long. If there's a pretty girl on TV, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
That's so sad.
I throw out toilet paper so I can go to the store and buy more. Just so I can be alone for a couple minutes.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. Come on, buddy. Come on. Let's get out of here.
It was a good move to keep the mouth wrap on. She was about to chime in again. As stated at the start here, just because it's a silly joke doesn't mean it's not true. More often than not, it's funny because it is true. Women in the modern world only want what's best for them. And as corrosive as that is for society and the institutions that help them stay stable, well, they just don't care. For the most part, they are feminists, and even if they don't identify as such, that doesn't mean it's any less true. It's the whole reason places like the US and countries around it have what is known as pick-me's, who parade around as women that have turned a new leaf. Sure, they may cook and clean around the house at the start to try and claim innocence, but they all eventually join the same nightmare when the ring is secured. Which is why the world, on the masculine side, has grown silent. Things are changing fast.
Next stop, Gaston Boulevard and Blake Avenue.
That's what? I just came from work. I've been standing on my feet all day, not getting up to nobody.
I can't just sit like I only got like a few more times anyway.
I got 10 stops. 10 stops left after that. You can sit down. Not getting up. Just came from work. Not
Next
getting
stop,
up.
Levin Gaston Boulevard
I
and
saw.
Center
I
Avenue.
Why did you guys come across?
You want to sit down?
I'm not saying you want to sit by the window or
This
something.
stop is Levin Gaston Boulevard and Center Avenue.
Nah, she didn't know. You told her, nobody told her to get pregnant. Out of here, yo.
Times are changing, Pops.
I have a question for men and women. What is up with all of the pretty women being single? The most gorgeous women, like stunning, body proper, face card on, but they're single. What is it? I really get so confused when I see a beautiful woman with a nice body, with a nice face, and she's by herself.
I'll answer for him, even though that 1,000-yard stare says it all. Because beauty, at least all over the West, doesn't translate into anything anymore. All it means is that you've made an effort for yourself, and that's the problem. Men, don't fall into the trap that these guys did. The trap I see set both abroad and wherever else I stay. Don't surrender what gives you strength for a cost that compounds with time, with no lasting benefits beyond the lesson. Follow your gut. Believe in yourself and the brothers who support you. This is the way. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.